Welcome to the 2019 Detroit Autorama. There's a lot to talk about, so let's get at it right away. Here's this year's Riddler Award winner, an exceptionally beautiful 1959 Cadillac Brougham Eldorado station wagon. Only a handful of these beauties were hand-built by Pininfarina of Italy. This was number 85. 16 years in restoration, it's easy to see why this rare and beautiful automobile would take home the grand prize. Here's another Grade 8 finalist, a 65 Chevelle with a supercharged LS7 engine. It turns out about 900 horsepower. This 5-window 32 Little Deuce Coupe is running a 390 Cadillac engine and a 5-speed manual shifter. The dash is from a 39 Ford. And this 64 Acadian came all the way from Victoria, BC. Here's owner Danny to tell us about it.
I've owned this car for 35 years. 33 years ago when I got married, my wife and I put pom-poms on the side of this car and took it on our honeymoon.
The engine is a 532 cubic inch, dynoed at 2,510 horsepower.
At one time, it was our street car, a hot rod. Then I was drag racing it. Then I went to blown alcohol. This car was a blown alcohol drag car. And then now I finally said I'm going to bring it back home as my car.
There was a huge crowd on hand for this show on Saturday, March the 2nd, with hundreds of great cars like this 35 flatback Ford. It's powered by a supercharged Corvette LS1 engine. It's got a custom interior too. Nice looking 66 Fairlane with a single overhead cam 451 engine. It's got a 6-speed Tremel transmission. This is a 32 Ford Phantom. I'd never heard of a Ford Phantom. Here's owner Gary to tell us about it.
It's a body that Brookville and Chip Foose designed. They produced 32 of them. I picked it up almost right out of the jig on September 23rd of 18, and I built this in 117 days and took it to the Grand National Roadster Show last month, all the way to California from Middletown, Delaware.
The engine is a 1953 291 DeSoto Hemi. They call this 71 Barracuda Seabiscuit. It's a cool car running a 345 horsepower Hemi. Somebody named the color Vibrant Grapelicious. I can get along with that. Here is a rare 32 Ford Vicki. It's got a small block Chevy engine. And here's Jim with more about the car.
It just took about 3 years for this build with a good team of guys.
Not many Mavericks around anymore, but here is a good survivor. A lot of work went into this one. It's a mover with an 840 horsepower engine and carbon fiber hood and trunk lid. What a nice looking 56 Pontiac Star Chief. Anthony was part of the build team.
It took about 18 months to build this car from start to finish. The car was actually a very, very nice older restoration, and we had taken the car, we stripped it all down, and we started with a very nice rust-free body, and it really made the process go along really well.
The engine was dynoed at 850 horsepower on pump gas. Here is a sweet-looking 36 Chevy Cabriolet.
Yeah, it's got the LS motor in it, 460 transmission, power everything, heat and air. Like I said, it's been played with since 2005.
The mid-30s was really an elegant era of style. Everything flows on this car. It's got a comfortable custom interior as well. Here is a lesson on how to make something out of nothing at all. It took a lot of junkers and 18 years to pull this custom together.
It was based on a drawing from 1961 in Carcraft magazine. They built the Dream Rod, but never built the Roadster. So when my dad found the old body after he had owned it in the 70s, and they wanted so much money for it, he decided I'll just build the whole thing over again myself.
Here's a look at the interior and the engine. I'll have more great cars built out of scrap automobiles coming up. But now you're looking at a '69 Cougar Convertible. It's called the Eliminator, and like all of these cars, it was a total frame-off and rebuild from the ground up. Don't let this cream puff 56 Ford Victoria fool you. It's more than just a pretty face, and there's plenty of go under the hood. It's running a board and stroke 306 with twin superchargers. The custom colors are Mandarin Twist Pearl and Pearl Victorian White. Great color combination throughout the entire car. Here is a 1960 Ford Country Squire wagon on the turntable. It's a tin woody, because what looks like wood trim really isn't. Still a beautiful automobile. Here's a quick look at the interior and the engine. This is a fiberglass 41 Willys. It's painted a custom color and running a performance crate engine. All the graphics were laid out and hand brushed. It has a custom-made steering wheel. This 64 El Camino never made it as a Grade 8 finalist. Perhaps it should have. Here's the owner, Russell.
The interior is a custom interior. It's all rosewood throughout the car, including the bed. The bed's removable. It has body armor underneath the bed, so you can take it out and actually use it as a truck. It takes 5 minutes to remove the bed.
Russell tells us he's owned this car forever and has rebuilt it 7 times.
The engine's a 350. It's been line bored, internally balanced. It's carbureted, a 750 double pumper on a Victor Jr. Dynamoed out at 520 horsepower, 495 foot-pounds of torque.
Lots of pickups here too. This is a 65 Chevy 310. Like a lot of cars here, it's got airbags to raise and lower it. And a pretty girl to help show it off. Here's a shot of the interior. And here is another ground-up rebuild, a 96 Chevy C3500 dually. And here's the crew that built it. Like a lot of these vehicles, the most interesting bits are often found on the underside. This truck has a custom interior. This is a Ford 6.7-liter Power Stroke Turbo Diesel. This beauty is riding high, wide, and handsome. It's owned by Damien from Tecumseh. It's so good to see so many local and Ontario vehicles at this show. Here's another one, a 56 Ford. Alan from Eldorado calls this a dual Hemi. Alan says this truck is one of only a few made with a full back window and only in 56. Here's a 51 Ford owned by Rich. Nice oak bed in the back. Lots of work went into this classic. Here's a look at the interior. This truck is running a 350 Chevy engine with electronic fuel injection. Here is another cool-looking pickup. This one a 48 Dodge. It's powered by a 6-cylinder flathead engine. Looks pretty clean to me. Let's see a bit more of this pickup. Here's a look at the interior. It all looks pretty stock. This Dodge is displayed as a farm truck. It's carrying bags of potatoes. But it's probably been a while since this truck has seen any dusty farm fields. Some tasteful customizing on this 52 Ford Crestline Victoria. You know, back in 52, this was Ford's top-of-the-line car. A new design replaced the old shoebox look of the 49, 50, and 51 Fords. This car is running a 350 Chevy engine. This was Ford's first year for pedals suspended under the dash. And here's Mike's 1959 Corvette. It looks good now, but it's had a rough history.
Well, this particular one was in a pretty bad accident. The guy's wife was a little upset with him, and she decided to push it into the garage for him. So she blew the whole front of the car off.
This little vet is running a 350 engine bored out to 360. Here's a look at the interior. A customized 60 Chevy Impala convertible. Nice clean lines on this car, and a nice looking interior too. Let's sweep around and have a look at the back end. Another Ontario car. This 38 Lincoln Zephyr may have been one of the nicest cars at the show. It's in perfect condition in every detail. This car took 15 years to build. A lot of care was taken and it shows. Like many, this car was a barn find that started out as scrap metal ready for the crusher. Thanks to Dave for saving it. It's now running a 460 Lincoln engine with plenty of power. Dave also owns a 39 Lincoln Zephyr as a driver. You see this great-looking 57 Chevy? It really is a beautiful car, right? Well, here's Patty with her story of a potato digger swap. All will become clear.
Well, my sons and my husband were looking for a truck to restore, found this 57 in a tree-lined Treasure, and swapped a potato digger for it because the owners didn't want it anymore. And he's taken 4 years to put it back to this shape, and ended up getting a screw car from Experimental for brand new sheet metal to add to it because it was pretty rusted out.
Just look at the interior in this fine automobile. It really is hard to believe a piece of roadside scrap could be turned into this beautiful classic in only 4 years. Now here's another work of art. This is the famous Carl Casper Batmobile that he created for the 1992 Batman Returns movie. What an exotic custom, loaded with crime-fighting gadgets to help Batman and Robin rid the streets of Gotham from an assortment of nasty characters. Carl Casper has been active in building radical customs all his life, starting in high school with this 1951 Chevy. And here's Jeff with the story.
Originally, this model only came as a soft top, and when it was purchased by Carl Casper as his actual vehicle that he went to and from high school in, he actually made it into a hard top, worked on it for several years, and in 1961 he won the National Championship Custom Car Show award here in 1961, and it's back again because he received a preservation award from Detroit Autorama. Carl Casper by trade was actually an upholsterer. He actually made the entire upholstery on the inside using a 1949 commercial Singer sewing machine, and he still uses it to this day for all of his projects.
Here's a look under the hood. So many beautiful cars here at Autorama, like this 49 Cadillac. Pure luxury. And here's that famous monster coffin car built by students at Kingsville High School. I'm told that more than 80 students had a hand in building this. What a great parade cruiser this would be. Now, let's go down to the basement where Autorama began. Here you'll find a little bit of everything. Lots of folks here at Autorama from Windsor and Essex County and from Chatham, Kent. Oh look, there's Ed and Bob. Ed showing off his 75 Ford Ranchero. Nice paint job, Ed. There's lots of Bobs in our car group. Here's another Bob's 39 Ford. Good to see a lot of familiar faces here. I also noticed Gino from Leamington's beautiful 55 Chevy on the main floor. As you may know, I'm a 62 Olds guy, so I had to get a shot of this. There is everything down here, from classics to the very strange. Where would you go to see something like this? Only at Autorama. So long for now. Thanks for viewing. And come spring, we'll see you at the car shows and cruise nights.